self-serving, persuasive talkers
of everything and nothing.
We are Conversation Con Artists. What's going on, people? I'm Mr. On Point.
And I'm Calamity Red, and we are back for our second episode. Yay!
Yay.
So enthusiastic.
Yeah, need to work on that.
It's been one of those weeks, man. How you
Always
doing? How you doing, Mr.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm chilling.
Yeah. A lot going on this week.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
Always a lot of stuff.
It is. So let's just get right into it. We're going to start off with Unnatural Selection. Let's talk some shit about some celebrities, shall we?
Let's do it.
Well, let's start on a good note, because all the rest of it's bad. Semi. Let's just start on a good note. Missy Elliott is back. I'm such a huge fan. I'm so excited. I like WTF, which is where they from. I love the video. It gives me 90.
That's a new song?
Yeah, you have.
I ain't heard that.
What?
I ain't heard it.
As soon as we get done with this, you gotta hear it. I can't believe you haven't heard it. Like, we gotta rectify that. It's amazing.
How's she gonna use WTF and make it mean something else?
Because she's Misdemeanor Elliott, and she can. That's why.
I don't think where they from when I hear WTF or see it.
After you hear the song, you might though.
We'll see.
But she's back. Her video gives me 90s nostalgia. It's real. It's Missy. It's like what you would expect her to do. It's like an updated version of it, but it's very much Missy.
So something super energetic.
The song is super energetic.
Yeah.
Like, I get dressed to this song in the morning because I be bouncing around in my room. You know, I'm not a morning person, so like that takes a lot to do.
Do you know how many young people have absolutely no idea what Missy Elliott has done?
And that is part of what I want to talk about. Because also, if you go to YouTube and you look at the video and you look at the comments underneath the video, some of y'all, I don't know how you cannot know who Missy Elliott is. I mean, I guess I'm saying that because I'm old and so I remember like the 90s, but it's amazing, like, people who think that she's, like, a new artist. And it's like, no, she's not. And another thing that I noticed was there's this thing in hip-hop where we have this idea that it can only be one female rap artist at a time. So, also in the comments, people are like, oh, Nicki Minaj needs to sit down now because Missy's back. Why can they not both make music? First of all, their music is completely different. It ain't like Missy does anything that Nicki Minaj does, or Nicki Minaj does. Like, the type of music is so vastly different that I just don't understand why that would even be a comment to make. Like, there's this idea of there can only be one. It's a million dudes out here rapping and everybody's fine with and listening to. There doesn't have to only be one. This ain't Highlander. There can be more than one. Like, I don't understand.
Rappers do that today. Male rappers do that to themselves.
Yeah, but
they be like, I'm the best. I'm the greatest. Like, I saw an interview with Cassidy, and I don't know why, like, in his head, he is the best rapper, because there is no other evidence that he is the best. I like Cassidy.
They're all the best to them.
They was like, they said, would you call Eminem the king of hip hop? He said, well, I can't call him the king because I still rap. And I'm like, you ain't near the king.
Does he know he sound whack when he say, like, that just sounds whatever.
But that's what's in the air of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It's like that egotistical, pride filled.
But it's not these women doing it though. That's the thing with
dudes.
What I'm
saying, like, they do it themselves and men.
The women though, it's like the fans are like, like there can only be one at a time. Like, and I don't understand that mentality. I had a friend that described hip hop as crabs in a barrel kind of thing where, and I think we as black people have that a lot in general where it's like, we'll crawl over each other trying to get the fuck out of the barrel. Like, if I need to crawl on top of you to get out, is what I'm gonna do, kind of thing. Not like, working together kind of thing. So, and I could see that. That bothered me that was like the first thing that you go to is, oh, Missy's back, so now Nicki Minaj needs to go sit down somewhere. Like, no, she can keep making her music. It's a whole different. I'm not a Nicki Minaj fan, but I'm a Missy fan, and I'm sure there are Nicki Minaj fans that are not gonna be fans of Missy or who weren't already fans of Missy. Like, it's two separate types of like hip hop music. Like Missy Elliott, it's a whole different thing.
It don't even seem like she rap.
I know.
I mean, I don't think you ain't never heard Missy spit no hot 16s. I mean, She put together a work of art, and then she do it, and it's energy filled, and it's entertaining, and you love it.
Yeah.
You know, Nicki Minaj spitting hot 16s out here. You know what I'm saying? It's not really energetic necessarily. I don't even know what purpose it serves some of the times. But it's different. That's a different thing.
It is. And so that whole there can only be one kind of mentality kind of pisses me off. And let me just say, I'm not a feminist. And the only reason I separate myself from that is because these feminists now are crazy. I do feel like, the core beliefs of feminism I have, but like these feminists are crazy, and that would be a whole other show. But just as a female, I feel like it just narrows the lane, so you gotta wait till somebody else step down before I could do anything, because right now we already have that one person in that one slot that we've set aside, which isn't fair. There's room for everybody. I'm not even a Nicki Minaj fan, and I say, hey, let her make her music for the people who want to hear that shit, not me. But for the people who like it, okay. Like, I just don't understand why it can only be one or the other, or Mrs. back, so now no, they both make their music for their fans, and that's just like every other hip-hop artist does for their fans. There's plenty of male hip-hop artists that I don't have time for, but they have their fan base. So I'm not going to say they should, I make fun of them, but I'm not going to say they shouldn't make their music, do what you do. I just don't understand that whole mentality that people have as far as that is concerned. Like, it's annoying to me.
Do you have like a favorite, like, female artist?
Hip hop artist?
Like hip hop artists, of all time. What's your favorite female?
I'm not that big of a hip hop fan in general. Like, so
it ain't many.
There hasn't been many. I know. There's only been a handful. I like Queen Latifah when she was doing her music thing. Yeah. UNITY. I'm so old. But who else?
I used to like MC Light.
I liked MC Light.
I like her voice generally. She always be doing like them hosting shows and stuff.
Yeah.
But I like her flow when she, used to rap heavily.
And I think we talked about this a little last week about how you like stuff when you're younger and then you get older.
Nostalgia.
Fuck. I like Lil' Kim, like before she became the Asian Mermaid. I did like Lil' Kim. I like Foxy Brown, like that whole era of. I like them. So yeah, I'm not a hip hop head at all. So yeah. Again, my knowledge of hip hop is very much mainstream. If it hasn't been on the radio at some point, I'm not gonna know it. That's not my genre of music. Yeah. So.
And for me, at this point, I done branched out to so many different genres. Like, it's really isolated hip hop in my tastes in rap. It's just somehow, for some reason, I don't even know why. It's just. It's not as appealing as it was.
And I think because of the subject matter. I think that subject matter is like, it has an age limit on it. I feel, because it's money, cars, and hoes, and
it's got a maturity limit on it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, you're right, because age and maturity is two different things.
Yeah, I guess that implies that a 50-year-old rapper is immature.
Not
but
I don't know.
I guess it depends on what they rapping about. I guess
it just seems like here lately the subject matter is money, cars, and bitches.
That's what it is. You got a couple of rappers that like Kendrick Lamar.
Oh yeah,
J. Cole. Rappers trying to do something different.
Yeah, not many.
Positive vibes, positive message, positive energy situation. But that's something you're gonna never get from a Too Short.
No.
Something you'll never get from a lot of these rappers out here.
Yeah. Well, and let's see. Do we want to talk about diseases and who don't need to be the face of it, or do we want to go to role models in the NFL? I'm gonna let you pick.
Role models in the NFL.
Alrighty, so I'm gonna try to take this down a notch because I feel very passionately about this one.
Yeah.
So Cam Newton,
quarterback, Carolina Panthers,
played in a game in which he did very well, as he usually does, and in the fourth quarter of a game made a touchdown and did a dance, as most of them do. So this mom decided that people care about her opinion and wrote this long letter addressed to Cam Newton about how he's supposed to be a role model and how it was terrible for her 9-year-old daughter to have to see such a display and all of this shit. She has since, she didn't apologize. She basically was like, well, I learned some things about Cam Newton. Well, you probably should have done that before you started running your mouth. Like, I hate when people you don't talk about stuff that you don't know about. Then you come back later and be like, well, I didn't know that. Well, that's why you should have shut the fuck up. That's why you should have said anything in the first place. Like, first of all, for you to have an issue with him because he did a dance, like literally the whole letter was because he did a dance when he made a touchdown, like most football players do. Like, are you serious? Like, where's the problem here? And your daughter was this upset?
How old was the girl?
9.
9.
I can assure you that the fans in them stands was saying a whole lot worse than what she saw him do. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you she heard all manner of profanity, especially for, were they playing the Titans?
Yes.
For the Titans fans who were pissed or who had bet on the game and were losing money, I guarantee you that little girl heard a lot worse than what she saw him do on the field. A long, drawn out ass letter. Like, what? And Cam Newton has plenty of receipts for things that he has done. He volunteers. He does all of this stuff for kids. He went to a kid's birthday party, like a kid who, I can't remember what ailment the kid had, but he was a big Cam Newton fan. He just randomly showed up at this kid's birthday party. Like, he does stuff like that. Just showed up because he heard that the kid was a fan and that he had this terminal illness. So he just came to his birthday party. So just because he isn't doing things that you know about, or even if he ain't got to do shit, honestly. Like, in her letter, she was like, they pay you to be a role model. No, ma'am. The NFL does not pay him to be a role model. They pay him to play football, which is what he was doing, and he was doing it very well. And people wrote responses like nobody was on her side. She got roasted, which I was happy. And she got roasted intelligently. I love when people intelligently roast people. Because if you cuss people out, they feel like, they feel justified in what they did because now they're going to put the focus on what your bad behavior or your bad response to what they did was. But when you do it, with some sense and you do it in a manner that's respectful still, that burns them so bad because now we have to focus on your bullshit, not my response to it, but just let's look at your behavior under a microscope and see how stupid you are.
I think that people look at athletes. It's a subgroup of fans that look at athletes and it's a spectacle. It's like a gladiator in a old stadium.
Yeah.
Or it's like ants in an ant farm. It's whatever something that you can watch and dictate. You get entertainment from it, but I think some people get the idea that they can comment on it and they can weigh and they can be critical of some of the things that those people do. I don't know why they hold these people to a higher standard. I mean, most of these dudes is coming from the hood. It's coming from poverty, I mean, clearly you're going to have some athletes out there that, had some rich upbringings.
Yeah.
Live in some decent neighborhoods, decent environments, but they come from the hood. They say you can take a man out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the man. And that dance and that stuff that Cam Newton did was a lot of tension between the Titans and the Panthers leading up to that. The Titans did, they little dancing and stuff. And, so everybody want to get mad at Cam Newton. She's
obviously a Titans fan, and that's the thing. I don't like double standards. I feel like if you're going to be upset about something, you need to be upset about it, Yeah. So don't pick him out for doing this and not say shit to these other players that do it all the time. That's probably, I don't watch football, probably not a football game that happens where the person who makes the touchdown don't do some kind of little funky dance. Like, that's just part of...
Well, they done changed some of the rules as to where they expect you to do a little shimmy and then go on back to the huddle.
Yeah.
But you can't be hitting the quan out there. And what Cam Newton did was hit the quan. So he probably got fined for that. He possibly got fined for that, which
Worth it.
Some people they go with the rules so much that, he broke the rules, blah, 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 blah. Ain't no sense. But the fact that she wrote the letter with the intensity that she wrote it was far more about her than it was about anything he did or anything that her daughter could have possibly seen and perceived in any type of way.
She probably hears worse than that in the house.
Maybe she just started watching football this year. A little 9-year-old girl, and she's trying to understand the game. And mom thought, I don't want her to understand this part of the game. You're doing pelvic thrusts. Ma'am, turn off the whole TV. Don't let her go to school, homeschool her. Because I can assure you that it's 9-year-old in her class, pelvic thrusting, doing all kind of crazy stuff.
She's probably a One Direction fan or whatever little boy group they listening to now. Justin Bieber. Exactly.
Which is the worst.
Exactly. Thank you. She probably take her to concerts and shit. So, again, people pick and choose things that they want to be upset about and what they want to make it. I mean, if y'all Google the letter, like, it was a long letter and it was literally about him dancing. Really? You're that butthurt about him dancing? You're that upset?
I wonder what she do. Maybe she's like an English teacher or something. Maybe she's somebody, let me show him my grammar skills with my frustration and anger while I'm typing this letter about my daughter.
I mean, I don't know. People go too far and do too much. And doing too much is a perfect segue into Charlie Sheen, who has admitted to the world that he has HIV, and I want to know who was surprised. Like, I don't wish any bad will on anybody. I definitely don't wish, such a serious disease on anybody. But who the fuck is surprised that Charlie Sheen has HIV? Like, who? And the only reason he even said anything about it, like, people talking about how brave who's brave? He did that because somebody was going to out him and they were trying to blackmail him. And so to avoid that, I'm just going to come and tell them myself, and then I don't have to pay nobody no money.
He's already been extorted for millions of dollars, according to himself.
Because isn't he been it's been like 4 years. Like, he's known about this for a while.
Yeah, 4 years is a long time.
That's a very long time for him to know about it and continue probably doing all the... Because the thing about it, what you have to understand, when we hear HIV, people always automatically go to, he must have been fucking a bunch of bitches. But Charlie Sheen had a very serious drug addiction as well, and I can imagine that he was sharing tons of needles too. Mm-hmm. And so anybody that shared any needles with him during that whole, when he got kicked off for 2.5 Men, where he just fell completely off the reservation, just went crazy and toured with the goddesses and that whole thing. Anybody who was using needles with him at that time is,
at risk for AIDS.
Very much so.
Well, HIV, let's say HIV. Let's be politically correct.
Yeah, HIV.
I was like, and it's hard not to connect somebody going through something to another person. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, I wonder if he called Magic Johnson. I wonder if Magic Johnson called him.
But he did. Magic Johnson reached out to him or made a statement and was like, he knows how hard it is. And I don't really know how I feel about that, but
I bet Charlie Sheen was like, okay, Magic, how can I keep having sex with women? I need this advice.
Probably so.
Will I be able to find a wife like this? Ain't no telling what kind of question.
Who knows? I mean, I think he don't need to be the face of HIV. He needs to be a cautionary tale, though, because, I mean, he was doing a ton of just really risky-ass behavior. More than the average person. He did more than his fair share.
And I don't know if him coming out and talking about it was more about the extortion, more than controlling the dialogue about the situation.
Yeah.
Because if a woman would have came out first and said, hey, Charlie Sheen got AIDS, then all these other women would have came out before he got a chance to speak. And he would have been the bad guy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just how the dialogue go. He got out there first, and now he got a bunch of people that's supporting him. I mean, not only his fans, but because he jumped out there and said, I let all my partners know, which turned out to be a lie. Yep. I've been using protection and cautious, which turned out to be a lie. He got out there and controlled the dialogue. So now a bunch of people get to believe him. And now the women are the ones that have the burden of responsibility of being like whatever.
Well, would it be that way now since it's come out that he lied about the fact that he was letting people know and that he was used to protect? And
I guess it depends.
people are you the worst kind of fucking person. Like, you don't do that to nobody.
But
like,
who thought Charlie Sheen? When was Charlie Sheen good? When
you
was
right.
Charlie Sheen perceived as a good guy at any point?
Touche.
Emilio Estevez is the good Sheen.
Yeah, you're right. And he don't even use the Sheen
Exactly.
name.
He don't even use. He know what was up.
He separated himself from that
Yeah,
shit.
like I wonder how many. I wonder who knew. I wonder if he like told his family or if. I mean, besides his doctor. I mean, what?
I would imagine
if you have
they
AIDS,
knew.
Who do you tell first? Clearly, you don't tell the people you have sex with. But
Yeah.
Who do you? Because you don't want them to stop having sex with you.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
like,
if you're
who do you
him,
tell?
yeah. I feel like I feel like at this point, because of all of the bullshit he's done over the years, like I feel like at this point they just be like, okay, Charlie, yep, I'm right. I don't even think they have a reaction. I wouldn't have a reaction anymore. Like if somebody in my family was consistently fucking up the way he has, I'd just be like, oh, okay. If my mom called me and was like, Charlie got HIV, I'd be like, oh, for real, okay.
I wouldn't even listen to Charlie Sheen.
You would?
I wouldn't even listen to him.
No.
Like, who listens? I don't know. If I had a friend like Charlie Sheen, I would not answer their phone calls. If they needed a ride, I would be like, I'm, somewhere I can't make it, but I'm at home watching Jessica Jones. You know what I'm saying? Like that, Charlie Sheen would be that friend for me. Sheen would have to come to my job and ask for me specifically by name, and I'd still be like, damn. This man is clever. He is going to get in contact with me.
And he seemed like that kind of person who'd be like, oh, he think he gonna dodge me? No,
Exactly.
He'll be waiting on you after work, or you go pick your kids up, or you go to the doctor, or whatever. He'd be standing out there like, I've been trying to get in touch with you. I ain't been getting my phone calls. Like, I feel like he would be that kind of person. But yeah, I was not surprised. I don't wish that on him, but again, you have to be conscious of what you're doing. If you're going to engage in risky behavior, it's the same way. If you're going to, you can say whatever it is you want to say. I could get on here and say all manner of bullshit, right? Now, there might be some consequences for that. There might be some real dire consequences depending on what I say. Same situation. If you're going to go and you're going to have these drug binges and you're going to, share needles, even though we all know that you're not supposed to do that shit. And if you're going to go out here and just have unprotected sex with every person that you come across that you think is passably attractive, again, nobody's going to tell you that you can't do that. It's your body. Do whatever it is you want to do. But there are consequences that come along with that. And he is having to answer. I mean, these are his consequences now.
And I read that Charlie Sheen was having these women sign contracts where they had to pay $100,000 if they told anybody about the little sexual things that's going on.
Chappelle show.
Dave
Chappelle. He called it the love contract.
Yeah.
Yep. It was a skit on Dave Chappelle.
Like, that's crazy, man. Like, I wonder if he been doing this before the AIDS. Like, I wonder if he was been doing these contracts for a long time, or if like he got diagnosed and then started doing that.
I don't know how long who signed. Let me tell you something. If I am talking to somebody that we start dating or whatever the case may be, and you're telling me I need to sign a contract, I'm gonna think something is wrong with that. Like, and I know people are gonna be like, oh, well, he's got money. I don't give a shit. I'm not signing. What is it that I'm signing this contract for? Because my automatic thought is gonna be like, what is it that you need to hide badly enough that I need to sign a contract so that you can sue my ass if I say something about it? I don't want no parts of that. I don't want no parts of nothing that needs to be that secretive. That just sounds like a badass idea. I'm good. No thanks.
Chappelle made it sound like it made sense.
Chappelle made a lot of things sound like it made sense. That shouldn't have. Exactly. And speaking of shouldn't have and things that don't make no fucking sense, and this goes into this. I have a list of celebrities, right, that I think should be seen and not heard, kind of situations. They're very attractive, but they just need to shut up and don't say nothing. And Taye Diggs is one of those celebrities. Taye Diggs is a very attractive man, but dumb as a box of rocks. He's in the news this week because he does not want his son to be black or identified as black.
He don't want to be identified. What do you want him to be?
Mixed or
mulatto.
Yeah, not just not black.
Not
Absolutely,
black.
because that would be horrific. Can you imagine if his son was black? Had that title? Because it's done horrible things for his life. Taye Diggs has just lived such a terrible, horrible life from being black. I
think it happens. It seemed like to me it would happen in one or two ways. Either he experienced a whole bunch of shit and he's traumatic from the shit he done experienced, and now it's like, I don't want you to experience this stuff, so I don't want you to be labeled black, as if that makes a difference. Or he's been whitewashed, you know what I'm saying, in the environment that he's in, and he just wants his son to adopt to that whitewashing because he's in a world in which he did with white people way more than he did with black people.
I think it's the former and not the latter, and the reason I say that, he's done interviews before where he's talked about the fact that he's attractive now, but we have colorism within the black community, and he is a very dark-skinned guy. When he was younger, he got picked on a lot about that. I mean, you have to understand, Taye Diggs' actual name is Scott, and Scott was a theater geek in school. And he, had a lot of issues based around that. So I think it's more of like a self-hate kind of thing, just a low self-esteem, just issues he never dealt with kind of thing, more so than it is he's been whitewashed. I think he just felt so badly, like he just carried that on with him. But the thing about it is, if you look up his son, nobody's gonna not call his son black, because I'm not sure what nationality his mother is. She's white, or I don't know. She's obviously lighter than him. But this kid just looks like a little light-skinned black kid. He got hair like mine. Like, he just looks like a little light-skinned black kid. It's not even like he's not going to pass Taye. Like, that ain't going to happen. So I think it's just him. Because this isn't the first time he said some bullshit that people, like, have roasted him about. Have been like, what? Like, Tyrese has a brown paper bag. You can't be darker than a brown paper bag to date him. He's come and said this.
Really?
He said this before.
Tyrese said that?
Dark as
Tyrese
he is.
black ass
Dark as he is.
Tyrese black bald-headed ass said that.
He did. He has a brown paper bag rule.
I've been listening to some of Tyrese's videos.
He's a dumbass.
I've been like, okay, Tyrese, I'm gonna click the X now.
And this again. I always, whenever I see him, Taye Diggs, any of them, I'll go back to that Family Guy episode where, if anybody is a Family Guy fan, you'll know what I'm talking about. Stewie was supposed to be this pimp, and he was at like some fight or something with one of his hoes. And she was like, I thought you said we was going to the show. And Stewie was like, I thought I told you to just shut up and be looking fine. And I feel like that's what they need to do. Just shut up and be looking fine. Don't talk. I had no idea Tyrese was as stupid as he is until he started making them videos and giving relationship advice and shit. And I was like, wow, you're an idiot. Like, man, like, it don't go past the face, do it. It's just, that's it. Just all you have to, like, sing. Do you like acting thing? Leave it at that. Like, don't talk. Get off of Twitter. Please get off of Twitter and stop tweeting out shit. But I think, and Taye Diggs is not the only person I feel like that has that issue. He just has a larger platform to spew his stupid shit. But there's a lot of people that feel that way because of there's that divide within the black community.
Well, I think it's unfortunate.
It is.
That he believes that just not calling his son black is going to make a difference. I mean, the one drop rule existed for a reason. If you have one drop of black blood in you that people can identify, you're black. But back in the 30s and 40s, there were light-skinned black people that passed as white. Mm-hmm. Because there was this perception that if you're light, you can pass for white. White people, they had a specific idea of what black people look like, and they were the dark people in the hair. So if you happen to have like a white ancestry and you were light skinned and your hair was a little bit more straight, you could pass. And a lot of people did that, back in the day. But
not now.
Not at all. Not now.
Hell no.
It's so many different identifications now. But it's just saddens me that Taye Diggs believe that makes a difference to somebody outside of him.
Yeah.
The fact that you want your son to be identified as something other than black, that something positive can come from that for him. You know, what you're doing, because this really indicates that not only does Taye Diggs tell the world that he wants his son to be identified as mixed, but imagine what he's teaching his son.
You're right.
Imagine he's not going to be connected to African American culture. He's going to be set up for failure in the idea that he don't have to look at himself as black. And
because the world is going to.
Exactly. The world going to see your house and say, boy, you ain't white. You ain't. But you know, that's a problem that a lot of mixed kids have. Because parents of mixed children don't always know exactly what their child is experiencing, because neither one of them have ever not belonged to a group.
Yeah.
And so you have this mixed child, and when we talking about black and white, you go to the white side and they say, you're not one of us. And they go to the black side and they say, you're not one of us. And you got this kid that has some specific identity issues.
Yep.
And when you meet a lot of mixed people, a lot of them choose a side.
Yep.
You know, and I don't think I don't think that a lot of families do. I don't want to say don't do a good job. I just don't think we have enough education and knowledge out there about how to accept people of mixed cultures, because this is something that's really just emerging so much more in the last 20 or 30 years.
Yeah.
Well, clearly it was slavery
time.
It was good. It was definitely going
was
on
going
with the
on.
Thomas Jeffersons back then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, you know, in terms of we knowing it's here, we're looking for, you know, new racial identities. We're more accepting of these things. It's a thing now. We have it here. How do we deal with it? Because in the past, it's just been, don't worry about it. We're not going to talk about it. There's not a focus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel more bad for the son.
Yeah. I don't feel bad for Taye Diggs. Let me just.
Yeah.
Because
I feel bad for this. I guess I don't feel bad for Taye Diggs.
Yeah.
I guess I feel sorry for Taye Diggs because he believes that makes a difference somehow. And that's the part of me that says it's something that got to be whitewashed for him not to know that it don't matter what he want. America is going to give you what America gives you. You know what I'm saying? And that is bullshit.
Basically.
In a bunch of different, but in this particular context, the bullshit is they're going to look at your son and say, you black.
And you're setting him up to fail because he's going to think he's anything other. And he's going to get a harsh reality check when people are like, no, you are black. Like, what are you looking at? Like, so I feel like this about like, you know, the stuff that happens to us when we're kids. Like, the reason why I say I don't feel bad for Taye Diggs is that I feel like this. Anything that happens to you is going to have an impact on you. But I just feel like at some point, you cannot keep blaming that. You cannot keep blaming like, oh, the kids were mean to me. They called me blackie. Oh, my God. Okay, yes, it happened and that sucks ass. But at some point, you have to stop leaning on that for the reason why you have the behaviors you have now. Because you're an adult. You make choices. Everything in life is a choice. So you have to choose differently. You have to get to a point where you say, you know what? Leaning on this ain't really done much for me. You know, it ain't really helped me. So you have to change yourself. Like, and I don't feel like he's trying to do that because again, this ain't the first time he didn't say some bullshit like this. Like,
and like that advice is for the Taye Diggs of the world. But what his son need to be able to do is come up with his own identity. Yeah. Because what this son is going to do is he's going to have to find his identity in his dad's desires now.
Yeah.
How old is his son?
The picture, he look about maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah, this kid, I mean, this is not a good path right now.
No.
Because he's not going to be able to, even if he wanted to identify with, you know, African American culture, you know, because he might be a kid that just grows up and finds African American culture fascinating and he might thrive in it and he might love it. Well, now we got a conflict with dad because dad was, you know, saying, I don't want to say that he don't want him to be a part of it, but I just can only assume.
I wonder how Taye Diggs' family, like I wonder, because I'm just imagining my family's response to one of my male, like saying, my son's not black, like they would roast it. Like, so I just imagine what Taye Diggs' family's response is to like his behavior and like his ideas about, because he won't date black women. He's never dated black women. Part of that is because he didn't want to, I'm sure, to have a dark child because he's dark.
No, I mean the only thing a lot of black actors really have access to are white actors. If you got to go out of your way, like if you're going to date people in that world,
but even
it
before,
is a very small black population.
He said he didn't date him even before, like even before he became Taye Diggs, like. He was still theater geek or, trying to, like, that's not his preference.
Well, I like him even less now because he's just going to play in the wood. He's just going to play in a black love movie about love and dating in the black. And he'll use his blackness in that context, but in real life, his blackness don't.
The Best Man, Brown Sugar, like, he's in all of those movies.
What has he played in that was... What is he
How
playing in
Stella
that
Got a Groove Back? I don't know. I don't know of anything.
I wonder what's his reasoning though. I mean, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt sometimes. It could be because he hates black people.
I don't think he hates. I don't know that he hates. I really feel like. I think it's more self-hate than it is about like black people. In his mind, it may be black people, but I think he just internalized all the insults over the years, and now it's just kind of like, I don't want my son, he's not gonna go through that because he's not gonna be black, and nobody's gonna like make fun of him for that, which good luck with that, sir.
White people gonna make fun of him, light people gonna make fun of him, and dark people gonna make fun of him. Ain't nothing you can do about that. And if he was the absolute color you wanted him to be, they'll make fun of him for something else. I mean, that's just something that kids go through, people go through, we all go through. It's going to happen.
It absolutely is going to happen. He needs to learn how to deal with it because being black, because he is, in America, he going to go through a whole lot of bullshit his entire life. So you need to learn. Those are lessons for how to deal with ignorant people. That starts when you're younger. Like that is the building blocks for dealing with all of the stuff down the road that you have to deal with as an adult. Because living with other people kind of sucks sometimes. Like just other human beings in general. Like, people suck.
But with such an increase of, lighter skinned people in our day and age, by the time he get old enough to be rational and logical enough to have these conversations and hear these dialogue, he gonna be the racist one amongst his friends. Like he's gonna be the racist one because his dad had been telling him, "You not black, you mixed." And then he gonna be 16-year-old talking about, "I'm not black."
And he's gonna get punched in the face by some black kid. Like, what you look in the mirror. Now your eyes black. How about that? So yeah. Well, that's all I have for unnatural selection for this. I mean, there were other things, but I had to draw the line somewhere. Cause God, celebrities.
Well, now we got some deliberate nonsense. We got some stuff going on with our society right now and in the past, and I think it's stuff we need to know about. But a lot of the responses to those things are complete nonsense. And so, and not only the responses, but just the acts, some of what people do inside of that is nonsense. So the first thing I got is about Ray Carew. Now, the older people was going to know this name, going to remember this story. It was
he played for the Panthers too.
Played for the Panthers. He played for Colorado in college. And then the Panthers went on to play for the Panthers, but what happened was 16 years ago, he was in a relationship, and I think the relationship was going bad. His woman was 8 months pregnant, and he knew the relationship wasn't going to last. So to get out of the relationship, his idea was to hire an assassin, have it come and look like an accident that his wife got killed, but it all unfolded because that person didn't kill her. She didn't die.
And it was actually when she first got pregnant, he wanted to kill her. Because, like, I watched a special with the guy who actually did the shooting.
Really?
He wanted him to do it when she first got pregnant. And then the guy was like, Ray took so long to, like, iron out the details. So by the time Ray, like, got it together, got the money and all of that together, she was 8 months pregnant. But the planning and the plotting actually started, like, when she first got pregnant because he didn't want to have to pay child support and he didn't want to be with her. And he knew if he left her with the child, he was going to have to pay child support and he didn't want to have to do that. So his solution, because this makes sense, was to hire somebody to kill her and the child because he's a terrible human being.
Well, the first mistake is that you have to understand that assassins do not have any honor. So, for those of you that are thinking about getting assassins, don't do it. They will turn on you and tell the whole story. But his son is 16.
Because he didn't die. The mom died.
Yeah, the mom died, but the son lived. And he's 16.
Yeah. And
I was just reading the story, and it just sounds real tough because this kid was born, his mom died, his daddy gone to jail, and the mother, his grandmother of the woman that died, is raising a son that looked just like her daughter's killer.
And he is severely disabled. He has cerebral palsy.
Cerebral palsy, yeah.
And that's because of what, like,
he was born blue. Like, he had not breathed for a significant period of time when he was born.
You stole this kid's life. Like, he was born anyway, but his chance at having a completely normal, like you stole that from him. Ray Ruth is a terrible person. And then, like, he went on the run because after they arrested the person who actually did the shooting, he knew he was going to snitch him out. So he I think his girlfriend, he had moved on, got a new girl. She was supposed to like drive him over the border. So this dude was in the trunk of her car with bottles for him to pee in, candy bars, I think a change of clothes, a cell phone. So he could like stay in the trunk this whole trip and never get out. So until they were like safe across the border. What? Right? Really? Like.
So the problem is that you don't want to pay child support. How irrational do you have to be for your solution of not wanting to pay child support is to kill your woman and your unborn child? Like, I just wonder if he really thought that was going to work. I wonder.
He had to, because again, like, for you to start plotting and planning this, and then 8 months later, you still like, you know what? I'm going to do this. Let's do this. Here the money is. Let's do it. Like, he had 8 months to, like, back out of this and not do it. And he still did it. So he had to have thought he was going to get away with this.
Well, that means that he was an idiot. That means that he is amongst the ranks of the dumbest people alive. Because it didn't work. He got caught hiding in the trunk. And now he's in jail for the rest of his life, presumably.
I think he's eligible for parole in like 2018, I read, but I doubt he's going to get it because all they have to do is bring the kid in and them to see what kind of a life he's led because of his father's actions, and they're not going to give him probation more than likely. But, I mean, and he didn't even... I watch a lot of ID channel, so I saw this story on ID channel, which is why I know so much about the case itself, but... He didn't even try to pretend. Like, because the guy shot her and left her in the car, and she was able to, like, call an ambulance, and she made it to the hospital. She died at the hospital. Her mom was calling Ray. He went answer the phone. I think when he finally did come up to the hospital, it was with another woman. Like, so you're not even going to try to pretend that you ain't had shit to do with this. You just don't even care. It don't even matter. Like, she dead now, so what up? Like, he ain't even try to cover it up, like, well.
Well, I'm from the whole, how all this happened, we can be sure that he does not have an Ocean's 11, 12, or 13 heist type mind when it comes to planning.
He does not.
He probably planned on the fly. He probably got drunk, called his friend that said, I'll take care of you if you want me to. He said, all right. He came over there, did a terrible job at taking care of her. And it spiraled out to whatever it is, whatever it's going to be. I mean, he could have just did like everybody else do, not pay child support. Like, just if you don't want to pay child support, don't pay it. Clearly, there's going to be some repercussions from that, but it won't be jail.
Well, it may be jail, actually, but
it won't be jail.
It won't be like
18
murder.
Years.
Yeah, you're right.
Before you get a possibility of parole
for conspiracy to commit murder. Yeah.
And when you get out of jail, what do you even do? Like, after that.
Because he didn't have no... I mean, he was a football player. That was
you.
it. And everybody knows that you did this. And I mean, the kid, again, even when I saw that episode, it made me so angry because again, you stole, like, this kid never had a chance, like, and now his grandmother's having to raise him, and I can just imagine. I'm not sure about like the abilities of like kids with cerebral palsy, or like how his life is. Like, is he going to be able to live on his own? Will she have to always take care of him? Like, and all of this is because of your actions, sir. Like, sometimes people are born with. He wasn't just born with cerebral palsy. Like, this was created because of the situation that you put him and his mother in, because you were selfish and didn't want to pay child support. It's worth me. Like, just don't pay me. If you get me pregnant and you don't want to help me out with the kid, please don't kill me. Just don't pay. I would much rather struggle to take care of this baby myself than for you to murder me. Like, don't murder me. Don't do that. That's not even that serious. Like
why is that an option? Why is that, like, who thinks like that? That ain't happened. I mean, maybe it's happened before. I mean,
I'm sure it has, because people like I think that show goes to a lot to say where mentally Ray Caruth is, because, you know, teenagers, like kids, have that whole invincibility, you know, nothing. It won't happen to me. And you have to have a certain amount of that in order for you to do, because, you know, kids do stupid stuff all the time and think they're not going to get caught. And you be thinking to yourself, like, you ain't even try. I didn't even have to look for this. Like, you just was stupid. Like, what? This same mentality went into to plotting out this murder. And I'm sure he thought, this is I'm going to get out of paying child support. I could be with my new girl. I ain't gonna have to deal with no baby. I can keep playing football. This dude ain't gonna snitch me out because and this wasn't even somebody he knew well. That's the thing. This is just a hired. He don't have no loyalty to you because he don't even know you beyond this money. And if I get caught and I can get less time, I sure am gonna snitch you out, because you're right. There is no loyalty to assassins and hitmen.
Ain't no code, ain't no rule book. Like, it's just stupid to me.
It was very stupid, and it's very sad. I'm glad that the kid you know, he seems to be doing well considering, you know, and I'm sure his grandmother's doing the bit. I feel bad for her. I can't imagine having to live a life where I'm taking care of my grandson in that duality of, I love him, he's my grandson, but he looked like this dude. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that has to be extremely difficult for her just on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. Like, so I feel bad for her. She lost her daughter, and now she has this grandson that looks like the murderer.
Well, you know, it just represents the dark part of human nature. Another thing that's going on that represents a very dark part of human nature is the attacks in Paris. You know, we all know about the attacks in Paris. We all know what happened. But my part of the dialogue is the politicization
Close enough
of the attacks, because after Paris was attacked, they increased the amount of refugees that they were going to take in from 24,000 to 30,000. America used Paris's peril to say we're not taking any in.
Because America.
The governor of my state was the first one to say we're not taking any refugees in.
He's also the one who decided to take money from the education budget to pay, you know, get themselves out of the hole that they dug themselves in. And
to not take the Medicaid expansion and then go on to continue cut Medicaid later after they realized probably should have taken it. And so,
stupid ass.
The dark part of this conversation comes from how politicians in America misuse other people's perils to further their own agendas. And I don't like it.
They're demons. Like,
I mean, they're evil.
They really are.
First off, America is a scam. Okay, if you want to succeed in America, you got to become a con artist.
Yep.
And politicians are the best of the best con artists. They're good at what they do. They're good at manipulating. They're good at lying. They're good at covering their tails. They're good at things that you should not be good at, which is the reason why psychopathy increases, you know, by certain percentages, a significant percent when you get into CEOs and politicians, because they have traits of psychopaths.
Yeah, because a lot of them are.
Yeah, it's
Probably got
ridiculous.
by.
But you know, another note on that dialogue is that Anonymous, which is this masked group that when someone does something that's unjustified in society, they come out and say, "Hey, we're not letting you get away with that shit." They've come out and have vowed to, you know, stop ISIS or do whatever they can with their skills to, you know, help, you know, change what ISIS has got going on. And like right after they released that, they shut down like 55,000 ISIS Twitter accounts. Like, and this is how ISIS has been recruiting.
Yeah.
They have been using Twitter. The video they released about America was on their website.
Social
they have
media.
an ISIS magazine. Like, they're recruiting people through measures that everybody uses to communicate with the masses.
The beauty and horribleness and terribleness of, you know, this whole direction of, you know, huge. So social media is so big and everybody uses it. Businesses use it. And like everybody uses it. So that's, talking about that brings to mind the comments from Elizabeth Hasselbeck, because that bitch.
Now, who is she?
She is.
What is she?
She's on Fox a lot.
Oh, that's all I need to know. That's it. Just go. You can continue. That's all.
She was on this stupid ass show on Fox. It's like Fox and Friends or some shit. And her whole thing was, you know, President Obama he can turn away the refugees as long as he does it in a good-hearted nature. Like, bitch, okay, so I know you're running from like something terrible, and I know you're fearing for your life, but not here. Just, you can't come here. I'm sorry.
So she's saying you need to tell them you can't come here in a nice way?
In a good-hearted way. Just be good-natured about it. They'll understand. Like,
it's like,
will they?
It make me think about black folks back in the 50s. Like, this is how she's expect Obama to be a restaurant manager in the 50s when black people at the door trying to get in. You just got to tell them in a nice way that your skin is not the right color to be in here.
And then they would have just been like, oh, okay, we didn't even know. That's fine.
You know, I didn't know my skin was too dark for that place. I didn't know what whites only mean. I thought that meant egg whites only. You know,
it's just as ridiculous as that would be.
Exactly.
Like,
the problem is not the skin. The problem is the system. I have a problem with the system. I don't care about the color. I don't care about none of the stuff that you have a problem. I don't care about you don't want to eat next to me, or you don't want to be next to a Syrian refugee because you think they might be a Muslim and you think they plotting on taking your land or whatever you was killing. I don't know. Whatever you expect.
Her other point was that because in letting them in, you don't know if you're letting in terrorists. That goes across the board with anybody. Like that, anyone that's let in, right, could potentially have some unsavory intentions, right? Anybody that we let in could do that. And so to say, because if we let in, you know, 3,000 of y'all, there might be one bad one in the bunch. So because of that, I'm sorry. None of you can come in. Like, I hope you understand. I'm being as good-hearted and good-natured as I can, but no, not here. I'm sorry. They don't give a shit about that. Like, it doesn't matter how good-heartedly or good-natured. Like, what are you even talking about? Like,
most of these people are running away from ISIS. Now, it's clearly a possibility that ISIS will have to be some diabolical geniuses to say, you know what, when we start attacking, refugees are going to start trying to escape. We're going to
infiltrate some people in the
every
refugees.
Culture is going to be accepting these refugees. And what we need to do is we need to put some sleeper refugees in that are actually ISIS agents to destroy America. Like, this is what the paranoia of terrorism has done since 9/11. And I understand it, but it gets to a point where you start to magnify things that shouldn't be magnified, and it causes big problems. Like, the possibility of terrorism is a problem, you know, but is it a bigger problem than the morality behind not letting a group of people that are truly seeking refuge into the country in which we can help them?
And I feel like And I mean, I'm biased against Fox News. Let me just put that out there before I even say this. But I feel like a lot of the times it isn't even the threat of terrorism or the fear of terrorism as much as it is these people's just bigotry. Elizabeth Hasselbeck says bullshit all the time. Like, if you Google her, you will be enraged. Like, just listening to some of the shit she said over the years. She's pretty terrible.
The thing about Fox News that it's a dichotomy within me is because I know these people are smart. I know they're intelligent. I know they have sense. So a part of me is thinking they're intelligent. They're just clearly saying this to get reviews, ratings. They don't believe this extreme version. But the other part of me, and I'm scared of this being the truth, is that these people truly actually believe in the extreme nature of the things that they're talking about. And I'm scared of that because they're still intelligent. Intelligent people believing that extreme shit that's not good.
It's dangerous. It's extremely dangerous.
That's terrible.
It is. It is.
Yeah, but I mean, it's dangerous on either side, liberal or conservative. I don't really like.
Too much of anything is bad. Any extreme. You don't want to be on extreme.
With me and you started with liberals or conservatives or blacks or whites or men or women. If you start a conversation that is about to generalize a group because of something, I already think less of your dialogue immediately. Unless you're about to say, women have longer hair than men traditionally, or women have smaller bone structure than men. Like, if you're not about to state a known fact, then your dialogue don't mean nothing to me after that. I might take some of what you say into consideration based on how you say it, but I don't like them generalizations. Yeah. But you know what? This gets into Donald Trump. And, his rantings and ravings, and I just don't even know how he is up there. I don't know how I know how he is, because everybody who goes to his rallies, everybody who's thinking about voting for him are just followers or just looking for entertainment. This is just another version of high school, a popularity contest. People fall back into that role of just choosing for the person that says the right things, says the best things.
He don't give a shit about them. That's the thing.
This is just, to me, this is like America's like a business acquisition for Donald Trump.
It is. And that's the thing that people don't understand. Black, white, that don't matter. Green. Green is what matters. That is the color that matters to Donald Trump more than anything else. So these, if you lower middle, he not fucking with you. He not checking for you. He's not running for you. He appreciates the votes because you would help him get in. But he's not running for you. Like, he don't care anything about you. No. And did you see where he said he would absolutely, screen...
Create like a Muslim database.
A Muslim database.
Yeah, for anybody that's Muslim. That's ridiculous.
Because that's what America is about. So what's next? He gonna do that, and then he's gonna do, a database and screening for, all black people, and then all Asian people, and then are we gonna have databases for each little group? Is that what he's gonna do, or is it just gonna be the Muslims because they're the part that's what we need to be concerned about? So,
well, people like Donald Trump just help the masses pawn their own bigotry, racism, biases, discrimination. They get to pawn that off on him. They get to just agree. They don't have to say it. They don't have to say the stuff that they really feel. They just get to agree. And it's so bad in the South. And the Bible Belt.
And again, he don't give a shit about... Most of the people, I get so angry. If I'm somewhere and I overhear people talking about Donald Trump, and I'm like, he doesn't care about your poor ass. He don't give a shit about you.
Well, to be fair, no politician does.
Well, that's true.
To be fair, no politician cares about you. They care about your check mark or your tap or whatever system you use to vote for. They care about that. No politician cares. But Donald Trump cares even less than them. He cares less than that person.
Listen, and this is not a joke at all. I am getting my passport ready. I refuse to live in a country where Donald Trump is president. I will move. I will pack my little dog up. I will sell all of my belongings, and he and I will start our life over in another place. I will not be here to be in a country with Donald Trump as president.
I have like this scenario in my head that exists with Donald Trump. I believe that Donald Trump is possibly a sleeper liberal. I believe that Donald Trump said, not only am I going to take America as an acquisition, but I'm going to take all of my pre-existing liberal perspectives, which he has a history, a record of having, and I'm going to run as a Republican. I'm going to make it hard for myself. And if I get voted in as the president, I'm going to be liberal. I just had this idea that Donald Trump is he's just going to take America by surprise.
That would be nice if it was the case. I doubt it. I just feel like, I don't know. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here for him. I'm not here for him. I'm not here for Ben Carson and his old Uncle Tom ass. I'm not here for it.
And you know what? It wouldn't even, if that scenario were to happen, it would be like one of those movies where you watch and, by the end of the movie, the person done switched on them and it's just like, oh man, I didn't expect this to happen. You know what I'm saying? I don't really even care. Like to me, like either side you choose is like splitting hairs.
Yeah, that's
anyway,
true.
I mean,
at this point, I mean, it's kind of going to be down to picking the lesser of the evils, I feel like.
Yeah, the lesser.
Donald
Barack
Trump ain't
Obama's
it,
probably the last most wholesome person we going to get, even though he's still a politician, Yeah. So he do have all of the politician ills, but he's probably the last wholesome one we going to get in terms of somebody who just ain't been corrupted.
All you got to do is look at any of these debates to see that on either side, like on both Republican and Democratic side. Like at this point, it's just the lesser of whoever's the lesser of the evils, because they're all evil.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton, she's just weird. She's just weird. I don't know about Hillary Clinton.
And I don't like people, and this is the same thing about like, I don't like people who feel like they have to cater to like the black vote by being cool or by being, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the same issue that I have with people who try to feel like in order to relate to me, they have to do stuff like girlfriend and, you know what I'm saying? Like, talk regular. What's wrong with you? Don't do that. Like, you sound stupid. And I
like
feel
your white friend that you never heard say homie, but say homie when he get in front of you. What up, homie? And
it's like,
you don't say that to your folks when you get home.
Exactly. So don't say that to me.
Yeah,
it's
talk
like
how you talk.
You don't have to like speak in a special way for me to understand you. Like, it's insulting. Don't do that. And I feel like Hillary has a tendency to do that sometimes. Like, she'll do stuff. I think there's a video of her doing the nay. Like, it's too, just don't do that.
I don't know.
It don't take that. You don't have to do that in order to get the black vote.
I respect Hillary for having dialogue with the Black Lives Matter groups, even though
that's
I don't
the
think
stuff that you need to be doing. Don't do the nay-nay.
I don't think they are happy with, how she has communicated to them. Those particular people. I don't think it was a problem with what she said, but but it's a podcast that I listened to that, it's a podcast with two black girls. I can't remember the name of it, but they did an interview with Hillary Clinton, and it was a cool interview. I mean, she's trying to reach out to the black community just as much as, Bernie Sanders is trying to reach out to the black community. But did you hear Ben Carson rap?
I don't want to.
Please don't. Please don't. If you can avoid
I've heard.
Oh, you've heard it.
I did.
If you listen to this and you haven't heard it, don't. You just keep it that way. This is going to be the best thing for you.
And it's even sadder, I feel like, for him to be pandering. Like, it's one thing for Hillary to do. Like, it's kind of like the expectation that sometimes, like, I think sometimes white people are uncomfortable. So that's more for them than it is for you, right? I feel uncomfortable, so let me try to, like, I'm gonna say homie, and no, don't do that. Yeah. It's even sadder that you are black and you still feel a need to do this, sir. Like, don't rap ever again in your whole life. Sit your ass down somewhere.
Yeah, sit your old ass down, boy.
Like.
Go watch some surgery videos or whatever you do in your spare time.
And he's a neurosurgeon. But this goes back to, you can have tons of book sense and you can be capable of doing stuff like that. And then on the flip side, be dumb as shit box of rocks. Like,
I know this is irrational, but it made me think, did he even really know what he was doing? Doing surgery? Like, Let's go check on his patients. Like, what was he doing?
Question.
Like, he might have got lucky on every surgery that he did. It's irrational, maybe. But I'd be like,
he's an idiot, though.
He can't be this stupid.
He can't be.
But I mean, like, stupid people can be good at one thing, you know?
This is true.
I mean, so he can have that. Last thing I got, because I don't like talking about politics. I talk about them because it is very much so nonsense.
Oh, it ain't nothing but nonsense.
But the last thing I got is about these patty pies. I'm really...
First of all, really y'all that's running out here trying to buy these store-bought pies thinking that they're going to be some kind of miraculous miracle, please. It's a store-bought frozen-ass pie. It
don't matter who name on it.
It don't.
That is a mass-manufactured pie that tasted the same before it had Patty's name on it as it do after it had Patty's name on it. What y'all are realizing is that y'all didn't know that them old pies without her name on it was acceptable to your taste buds. That's what you're finding out.
Basically. And you better get your nana, your grandma, your auntie. You better get somebody to make you a sweet potato pie. Don't.
Exactly. Somebody in your family that makes sweet potato pie.
Somebody got to know how to make a sweet potato pie. Good God.
Like if you in a family and they just make terrible sweet potato pies, maybe you should go get a patty pie. But I don't see it being that many families.
I just don't either. And let me just say, I love Patti LaBelle, but she a little shady because if you haven't seen the viral video of the guy singing about the pies, which is why we're even talking about the pies, let's just be honest, because of him.
Yeah.
You should go and Google it. But so she like released a statement or said something to the effect that I was selling pies like before. No, not like this, ma'am.
You were not.
Not like this. You may have been selling pies, but they weren't sold out in stores.
She was selling as many pies as Walmart was selling without her picture on the little corner of it. Because Walmart sell these pies every year.
Yeah.
They went out and got Patti LaBelle name on it, and whatever Walmart was selling, I'm pretty sure they just kept selling the same thing until this dude put out this video praising the pie. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I don't understand why you couldn't just give him his props for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta try to downplay his contribution, and it was great. You're not gonna tell me that you did not see an influx in sales. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. I don't believe that this, like, the video had like 300,000 views or some shit like that.
A lot of views.
And it hasn't been out that long for it to have that many views. You're not gonna tell me that did not have an impact on your sales for these punk ass, frozen ass, nasty ass pies.
Exactly. And to be real about it, even if it didn't have an impact, because you knew that video went viral and so many people saw it, you had an opportunity to show people your human side and to give that man some credit that would have boosted your perception to the people.
Crabs in a barrel. It goes back to the crabs in a barrel mentality. I'm going to get out of this barrel by standing on your head. I'm not going to help you. Because that was so unnecessary. Like, you're Patti LaBelle. You don't need, like, let him have this going to be his little 15 seconds. Let him have it. Like, you didn't have to do that. That was so unnecessary. Like,
if I was going to buy a pie, I wouldn't buy one now.
No.
If I was going to buy a pie,
because she's an asshole.
I should have bought one before, she said that he didn't have anything to do with my pie success. Because she done took it all up to her head now.
And it just makes her look like an asshole.
I hope it declines. I hope it go down super low.
I hope so too. I hope everybody be like, fuck Patty. Okay, well, maybe not that, but fuck them pies.
Yeah, the pies. I mean, it's some people, if you say fuck Patty, then you're going to.
That's why
it's
I
gonna ruin your perception
it.
of this. They're going to be like, oh, you are the problem. Not
That's
Patty.
why not Patty, but them pies. Fuck them pies. Forget the pie. Like, that's just. But don't listen, please. Thanksgiving is coming up. Just get your auntie to make a pie. Or get your mama or your grandma. Somebody in your family can make a sweet potato pie that's fresh, with fresh ingredients, actual potatoes. I bet it's not even like actual sweet potatoes. It's probably processed mush.
I saw a picture of a breakdown of all the ingredients, and it was talking about it was some ingredients in like something and then hydrochloride or something like that. And it was talking about how this product was banned in Canada because it had human hair in it. And I'm like, it is a mass-produced pie. It has preservatives in it. It has cheap stuff to help you save money. The only thing your grandmama pie got in it is sweet potatoes, flour, butter, sugar, eggs, maybe a little nutmeg or some cinnamon. That's what's in it. That's all. You ain't got to worry about all that extra list. By the time you hear this, it's Tuesday. Call your grandmama, auntie, mama, whoever cooking the pie, and say, make me one extra pie. Because I'll be damned if I'm finna buy one of these damn patty pies and she an asshole out here.
Exactly. Oh, we cannot talk about patty pies without. Let me tell you something. Black folks, black Twitter, black Instagram, black social media, y'all be on it. All of the memes of the different kinds of pies. They did Keisha Cole the worst. Like hers is like pork and beans and some shit.
Keisha Cole. I don't really care about Keisha Cole.
But like the captions for each pie was hilarious. Like they had the Nom Nie Reagan coat from What's Love Got to Do with It? That Buddhist chant for her pie that was on there. Oh my God, I loved Dionne Warwick's pie because the caption was like made with no fucks and just a little bit of sugar. That was my favorite one.
I was looking at all them things.
But black social media be on it. Like folks be waiting for something to come out so that they can like make funny shit. It's hilarious.
They wait, and it's very hilarious. Patty pies, don't buy them, people.
Don't buy patty pies. Get your auntie to make a pie.
If you have to buy a patty pie and you've heard this, I want you to go look in the mirror and be ashamed of yourself for a few minutes before you go back to finish that pie.
And don't get all upset if you haven't ever had them before and you cook it and you like, this don't really it ain't gonna taste like your grandma, auntie. It ain't gonna taste like that because it ain't the same thing.
It's gonna taste like a pie that was made in a factory that they put it in a box with Patti LaBelle's picture on the box.
That's exactly what it's gonna
taste like.
That's what
it's gonna taste like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, and I guess Walmart know that perceptually people gonna think that Patti LaBelle made them in her kitchen, boxed them, and then gave them to Walmart.
If you think Patti LaBelle is mass producing pies in her kitchen, go slap yourself right now. Because I can promise you, Patti LaBelle probably ain't made no pie in who knows how long. So
Patti LaBelle is sitting at home with some kind of mixed drink next to her 40-year-old boo thing, talking about how much them pies made her the last couple of weekends.
That's it. She ain't making no pies, though.
Yeah, like she ain't making no pies.
No. Ridiculous. People are insane.
Anyway, that's all I got for deliberate nonsense. It's too much nonsense going on. I mean, clearly we can go on for days.
I mean, every week.
You got anything else on your mind?
I do not. Happy Thanksgiving, because we won't, by the time y'all hear from us again, Thanksgiving will have passed. So, I hope everybody eats. Please eat. People be on the diet and shit. Eat. It's Thanksgiving. Have turkey and dressing.
Get some turkey. Get sleepy.
Some of y'all got parents mamas that only cook this one time a year. You better eat that. Enjoy it. You won't get it again until next year.
Exactly.
So enjoy it.
When the next time you actually gonna get a real meal if you don't live at home?
Listen, because the struggle is real.
Exactly. Like the struggle is real. Take these holidays serious when it comes to deliciousness, people.
Yep. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
So.
And until we come to the next conversation.
We out.
Holla.